kusema sitaki, ujipatie salama.
Kwa kila hapana unayosema ujue ni ushindi wa heshima yako, ni mwango wa ndoto zako na ni hatua mbele kwa maisha yako. Asanteni.
Vurugu nyumbani, mwadhirika wa uonevu, sababu za maumbile, urithi wa familia huleta ukatili nyumbani.
Je, ni kweli kuwa wanafunzi wote wamepata fursa sawa masomoni?
Shule zote za mjini na vijijini kunapatikana vifaa kama maudhui ya kidijitali yanayotumika na madarasa yote.
Walemavu. Kuna wanafunzi ambao ni walemavu na wanaweza kukosa shule wezeshi zinazoweza kuwapa vifaa na vitu wanavyohitaji.
Taja aina 3 za vyakula vya asili.
Nduma.
Hapo kwa mbali akasikia sauti, nyaruguru, nyaruguru, nyaruguru yo.
Kutumia viziada lugha.
Utumia viziada lugha. Nimependa sana hoja yako.
Do you know what's inside that prepackaged food? Those unhealthy ultra-processed foods high in sugar, salt or unhealthy fats can lead to diseases.
According to the Ministry of Health, approximately 39% of all deaths in Kenya are as a result of non-communicable diseases such as obesity, diabetes, cancer and high blood pressure. The foods and drinks we consume every day can affect our health more than we realize.
Clear information on packages about what's in our food can help us have a healthy diet. From the Food Policy Coalition Kenya.
Now, hello and thank you for joining us for Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. We are coming to you live from the Broadcasting House in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Caroline Njoroge. Of course, we have so much within, of course, across the country, including the Africa Forward Summit 2026 that's ongoing at the KICC as we speak. And of course, we'll be bringing later our very own Brian Kimani to bring us to speed. But before that, let's go to Kilifi County, where women in Kilifi County are being challenged to take up business and leadership roles in society as an empowerment tool. Now, Kilifi County woman representative in the National Assembly, Gertrude Mbeyu, says plenty of opportunities are available, but few women are taking them up. Mbeyu spoke during a Mother's Day Business Forum in Malindi Town. Delegates networked, exchanging investment ideas and sharing set-up capital opportunities. Take a look.
Ile networking ndo kwetu muhimu zaidi. Uweze kujua yeye anafanya biashara gani, mimi yangu ni ipi, mwingine yake ni ipi, ni vipi tunaweza kusaidiana kibiashara. Amesema niwasaidie. Tutapanga ni vipi wao wataweza kusaidia. Tuko na pesa za ngafu, lakini masharti ni kuwa lazima wamama wawe 20 kwa grupu, wawe na certificates ndio waweze kuaccess pesa za ngafu.
Kwa muda mingi sana kina mama wamekuwa na kuweka mbuzi tu za kawaida, lakini sasa hivi tuna improve ile mifugo yao, tunawapatia kama ni mbuzi ni gala goat, kama ni ng'ombe ya maziwa tunapatia fresher. Yani tuna improve kulima ama ufugaji ndani ya county.
Now, let's take you to the Kenyatta International Convention Center where the Africa Forward Summit 2026 is ongoing. If you can hear me, O'Brien Kimani, and of course our very own Mukami Nduta, bring us to speed. What's going on there? I understand the summit is expected to end today. O'Brien Kimani, if you can hear me at the KICC, and of course Mukami Nduta, if you can hear me, O'Brien, what's going on there? I understand the summit is expected to end today. What's going on there?
Hello. Buenos dias. Hello.
Yeah.
Fine. Let me call you back. I'm coming. Yeah?
Yeah.
The Africa Forward Summit 2026 is still ongoing at the Kenyatta International Convention Center here in Nairobi. And our very own O'Brien Kimani and Mukami Nduta are there on standby. If you can hear me, I understand the Summit 2026 is expected to come to its conclusion today. What's going on there, O'Brien?
Well, that's right. Giverson, Maina in Broadcasting House. It's been a hectic morning here and, of course, afternoon with more than 30 heads of state and heads of government being locked in this room, you know, in critical conversations on how to improve the relationship between France and Africa. The morning started quite well with opening speeches, and of course now what is happening inside here, we are having what we call closed-door bilaterals. This is between France and Africa. I just talked to, about some 10 minutes ago, I managed to talk to Aliko Dangote, the Nigerian oil billionaire, and he told me that he's willing to invest about $17 billion in the East African region in the downstream business. I also managed to talk to the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, and he says the conversations taking place here are very critical in driving the agenda of Africa forward, and especially on climate change. I am with Dunta Mukami, my colleague. She has also been here the whole day, and of course she was watching closely what was happening in the plenary, and now she's about to take us through what exactly transpired in the plenary. Dunta.
As you've rightly said, O'Brien, and good afternoon to you, Giverson, a lot of discussions were happening in the morning, but one clear message that emanated was the president said that Africa needs to reposition itself for development-backed financing. And why this is, the president echoed that as African countries, we cannot continue relying on donor-funded programs, especially from the International Monetary Fund as well as the World Bank. And therefore, the president was calling for increased private sector partnerships to enable African countries commit to that. Key among the discussions that continued were about access to energy green transition, because remember, Kenya is one of the biggest champions in renewable energy. And the president underscored the need for backed up investment in that area. Among other discussions centered around healthcare, leveraging artificial intelligence and communication systems. And remember, the most important thing that we're looking out for this coming afternoon is the adoption of the Nairobi Declaration, where we will be seeing heads of state come together to agree on different agendas on some of the key themes of this summit, which have been transitioning into green spaces, agriculture, artificial intelligence, among many, many other stories. Giverson, I will be giving you more updates even as we get back to you. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, indeed. Mukami, I mean, we are waiting closely to see what kind of content is going to come out of the Nairobi Declaration. But remember, President William Ruto has already said that part of the issues to be discussed, or some of the issues to be captured here, includes how Africa and France are going to move forward when it comes to restructuring the global financial system, and he has been a champion for that. And of course, how to reform the United Nations, what we are calling the UN 2.0. Well, that's all we have from here, and of course we'll keep you posted on what's happening here at the Africa Forward Summit at Kenyatta International Convention Center. O'Brien Kimani is my name. Back to you, Giverson Maina.
No, thank you, Brian Kimani, and of course, Mukami Nduta from the KICC. Of course, we keep an eye on that and we'll give you details in our subsequent bulletin. And now, a section of educators and environmentalists in Kilifi County has called on local communities to adopt improved waste disposal practices to prevent disease outbreaks, especially among school-going children. Now, while at a community cleanup initiative in Kilifi town, the group expressed concern over the increasing trend of wanton waste dumping practice they warned could lead to the spread of diseases such as cholera.
Tua mvua venye mmeona hizi takataka zote zinatoka kule juu, si eti zinakuwa generated na watu hapa, so kuonyesha wale wenye wanatupa juu ndio zinakuja hivi. Na sasa takataka kama especially kama diaper iko na kinyesi na iko na mkojo, na zote mmeona zinabebwa na maji zinaenda kwa ufuo wetu na water runoff. Hizi maji watu wetu wanaogelea, wakikunywa watapata madhara.
Usafi wa mazingira unategemea mimi na wewe, kwamba vile jamii inavyofanya maamuzi yake ndio vile mazingira yanakuwa masafi ama machafu.
A group of scholars and business leaders in Kiambu County want it to be split into two owing to its massive population. Now, the new proposed Thika County, they say, should comprise Juja, Gatundu North, Gatundu South, Ruiru and Thika constituencies. This has triggered a renewed political debate over governance, service delivery and, of course, resource redistribution in one of Kenya's most populous regions. And that story, when it's ready, we will revisit it. And our transport and business activities in Kapsabet town were disrupted after residents from Kiproket in Mgwen constituency, Nandi County, staged a protest demanding the expansion and reconstruction of stalled Kapkonoin Road. The residents marched to several government offices, including the Lands Office, County Assembly, Governor's Office, and the County Commissioner's Office, seeking intervention over what they termed as a long-standing neglect of the road project. Take a look.
Hizi njia kumekuwa na changamoto sana, wagonjwa wanaumia, hata wamama kujifungua, kufika kwa barabara tu mahali wanaweza kuaccess barabara, kufika hospitalini ni ngumu.
Sisi kama wanakijiji tumefanya public participation, tumekusanya pesa kidogo, tukakuja kuomba tufunguliwe. Pia venye amesema hakuna pesa, tumetafuta pesa yetu, lakini ameenda kule amesema hii barabara inaguza ndugu yangu.
Now, Awendo Member of Parliament Walter Wino has called on the government to increase the Constituency Development Fund NGCDF allocation, speaking during the official opening of a modern 2-story building with 8 classrooms. In his constituency, the legislator noted the current allocation is insufficient to meet the growing infrastructural needs of Kenyan learners. Now, Wino emphasized that with junior secondary school learners now domiciled within primary schools, there is an urgent need to strengthen both the infrastructure and human resources in these institutions. His sentiments were echoed by parents and teachers who highlighted that the rising number of learners has overwhelmed existing facilities, forcing some students to study under trees.
We need to innovate ways of making sure that we also fit and make that CBC. Because if we continue complaining, it means we should be talking about abolishing it, which is not the right thing to do at this particular time. So we have to, we have to do with it. We have to do whatever we can. The leaders must now just be innovative, communicate with the relevant government departments, get funds to do whatever can be done so that we keep our learners in school.
Bado watoto tuna changamoto sana. Hata wakati wa mvua wengine hawezi kuja juu wanakaa tu chini ya mti, wanakosa madarasa. Changamoto ingine tunakosa walimu. Tuko na walimu wa BOM yenye wameandikwa lakini wanakosa bado au walimu hawatoshi.
Kwale Area Governor Fatuma Chani says the number of infants receiving a specialized treatment at Msambweni Referral Hospital has surged from 8 to 90% per month following the expansion of the special care unit for newborns at the facility. This has greatly reduced infant mortality rates. Now, the unit funded by the Kwale County Government and M-Pesa Foundation is said to be a beacon of hope for expectant mothers and newborns seeking emergency care. It comprises an intensive care unit, blood storage, oxygen equipment, and imaging services.
Kapasiti ya watoto 13 peke yake. Imagine. Tulikuwa na kangaroo room ambayo ilikuwa inasaidia watoto 3 peke yake. So kulikuwa na congestion sana hapo ndani. Watoto tulikuwa na zaidi ya 300% capacity. Congestion inaongeza issues, infection. It was not conducive kusaidia hawa watoto.
Iko na mahali salama kwa kuangalia afya ya mtoto mchanga. Mama akizaa alafu baadaye mtoto anaweza kuangaliwa vizuri. Nishukuru M-Pesa Foundation kwa zile vifaa ambazo ziko pale. Tumeletewa vifaa ambavyo ni vya kisasa.
Now I take you to Kisumu County, where Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o has put on notice developers in the Lakeside County flouting statutory construction guidelines, warning of a personal responsibility if found culpable. Now, the warning follows a Monday evening incident where a 6-story building under construction partially collapsed, leaving 1 person with injuries. The National Construction Authority has also directed that construction of any kind must be registered for routine inspection to avert similar incidents.
Our preliminary investigations indicate that while the original building plans for this structure had indeed been approved in 2015, the law is very clear that where construction is not completed within 3 years, the approval must be reviewed and renewed before works can proceed further. That was not done in this particular case. Any officer found neglecting their duty, facilitating non-compliance, overlooking expired approvals, or compromising enforcement procedures will be held personally accountable and subjected to disciplinary and legal action.
We also want to urge all the developers of either buildings or other constructions to comply with the law the way His Excellency has said, If you comply with the law, then we are all safe. But if you don't, then we have problems.
Now back to the political story we had prepared for you. A group of scholars and business leaders in Kiambu County wanted to be split into two, owing to its massive population. Now the new proposed Thika County, they say, should comprise Juja, Gatundu North, Gatundu South, Roiro and Thika constituencies. This has triggered a renewed political debate over governance, service delivery and resource distribution in one of Kenya's most populous regions. Take a look. Divide Kiambu County into two, namely Kiambu and Thika, has elicited a fierce debate in the Mount Kenya region.
Today we enter the second phase of the process of petitioning Senate for the splitting of Kiambu County and the creation of a separate Thika County. The first phase culminated in the presentation of the memorandum to the NADCO, the National Dialogues Committee.
Due to its huge population of about 2.4 million people, scholars and business community in the region want Juja, Gatundu North and Gatundu South, Roiro and Thika constituencies to form the new county that would have an estimated population of about 1.2 million people.
The equitable revenue that you're looking at could be to the tune of between 4 billion to 5 billion from the equitable. So cumulatively, Thika County could be managing own source revenue of about 2.9 billion.
We have polling stations and areas that are located across on the other side of Murang'a. These people are voters in Thika, yet administratively they are located elsewhere. So this is actually to consolidate and to bring everyone who is supposed to be within a particular area.
And we want it to present it earliest next week. So we are moving very fast. You know, there is very little time between now and the elections of 2027, and you don't want to be entangled in the campaigns.
In Kakamega County, Lurambi lawmaker Titus Kamala wants the ODM party to reinstate cooperative CS with Clive Oparanya to the party leadership. He says Oparanya is capable of reconciling the two rival factions within ODM.
Tunapenda mzee wetu Oburu. Tunapenda chairman wetu wa chama. But let us also give the party a national face. Kama chairman atakuwa kutoka Luo Nyanza, party leader akuwa hata Mluya. Hakuna makosa.
In Homa Bay County, members of the ruling UDA party in Karachuonyo constituency are conducting grassroots mobilization drive aimed at bolstering support for William Ruto in the presidential election.
We are saying, and in very clear terms, that Karachuonyo is UDA. Zone. UDA zone. Anybody thinking otherwise, let him or her make another calculative move elsewhere.
And away from politics now, authorities in Nyahururu town are investigating the mysterious murder and burial of a middle-aged man at the Siberia Cemetery in Maina village, Laikipia County. David Mwangi, whose demise almost sparked protests among locals who attempted to exhume his body, is said to have been reported missing last week after going to a pub in the company of friends. These and more stories in the Crime Watch Roundup.
Mwangi alias Wetu was allegedly attacked and killed by a mob in the village after being accused of theft. Homicide detectives and officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations visited the scene and are investigating the circumstances leading to Mwangi's death.
Amezikwa kwa kichaka, hakuna msaraba, hakuna nini. Anafunikwa na karatasi juu ya jeneza. Sasa wakuja wachukua mwili azikwa kwao.
Meanwhile, residents of Kathunga village in Ukasi area, Mwingi Central constituency, Kitui County, are calling on security agencies to flush out all camels in the area as the only permanent solution to the killings in the area.
Si tuko na shida kabisa, hata watoto hawaendi shule. Wakiona ngamia wanakimbia, wanajua mtoto mmoja atakufa.
Hao mauaji ilianza kitambo sana. Kutoka 2013 wamekuwa tukipoteza watu wetu, na hatuwaoni tena.
Finally, our authorities have intercepted 16 tons of donkey hides being ferried in a trailer at the Kanyunyo area along the Thika-Garissa highway during an operation conducted by a multi-agency team. The seizure comes just 3 days after the world-marked World Donkey Day, during which our authorities issued a stern warning against illegal donkey slaughtering and urged the public to report such incidents.
We suspect that the donkeys are being slaughtered elsewhere across the country, and the hides are being ferried to Kithioko.
Punda ikiendelea na kuchinjwa na vile punda anazaa kwa muda mrefu, hakuna vile tutakuwa tuna kitu ya kufanya kazi nayo.
Two suspects, the driver and the turn boy of the trailer, are currently being held at Ngutani police station. Isufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
That story takes us to a very short commercial break. Don't go too fast, still so much more coming your way.
Today, I have something to celebrate.
Divorce.
Yeah.
Miss, you okay?
I'm fine. My stomach hurts.
Let me help you out. Really should get back at you. As well as the fees, I put some more cash on your account here. Order whatever you want to eat.
Oh, you made it. My boyfriend. I want you to be my boyfriend.
Why would you want to be with a doorman? I just don't get it. Hey, if you want a boyfriend, I can introduce someone for you.
Gina! Haki watoto wa siku hizi wakiwa wanasumbua. Usikose kuona Gundu. KBC Channel 1 every Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. Ujionee hivi vituko vya watoto wa siku hizi wanaosumbua wazazi. Na mengine mengi. Keep it Gundu. Gina!
Wananiita Gundu, wakita, wengine wata...
And now welcome back. You're watching Lunchtime News on KBC Channel 1. And our Baringo County government has partnered with Teach for Kenya in a new initiative aimed at improving learning outcomes in public early childhood development education schools across the county. Now, according to Baringo County Governor Benjamin Cheboy, the program will focus on addressing educational needs at the most critical stage of learning through the deployment of trained teachers' assistants, popularly known as fellows, in schools across Baringo. The initiative will involve recruitment, training and placement of fellows across Baringo County.
I've hired more than 1,800 teachers for ECD, mostly certificate holders, diploma holders, and even graduate teachers. So we are moving to another step now to see if we can get purely university graduate teachers to teach in ECD centers, and not just teach, but provide leadership in this kind of environment. They are supposed to do more than just teaching in those ECD centers.
And now let's get to business. Now, Kenya is integrating public-private partnership deals into its debt management strategy in a bid to stop hidden fiscal risk from the public debt. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi warns that weak oversight at public-private partnership contracts could leave the government exposed to costly guarantees, currently shocks and long-term liabilities.
Public-private partnerships have been largely presented in Kenya as a solution to fiscal pressure, a way for government to deliver roads, ports, housing, energy and water infrastructure without immediate large-scale public borrowing.
PPP frameworks provide governments and private capital with shared structured mechanisms capable of aligning national development priorities with financing capability.
However, reviews by the National Treasury, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund have cautioned that public-private partnership deals do not eliminate government exposure.
The goal is not to do more PPPs. I think we have moved forward from there. It is to do better, more bankable, and PPPs at scale.
As at the end of June 2025, Kenya's exposure in public-private partnerships was at 203 billion shillings.
The taxpayer is already strained and is complaining, and we have no space left to increase taxes or tax rates. As a matter of fact, now we must reduce the tax rates.
Mbadi says Kenya is shifting towards independent feasibility assessments, standardized risk evaluation models, and clearer disclosure of contingent liabilities before project approval, and more disciplined contract management after PPP deals are signed.
Our goal is to shift the fiscal burden of infrastructure from the taxpayer to the private investor through structures that are bankable, transparent, and mutually beneficial.
The government wants private investors to shoulder a greater share of operational and commercial risk instead of relying heavily on sovereign backstopping. Regina Manyera reporting for KBC Channel 1.
To Lamu County, where cotton farmers in Mpeketoni are calling for establishment of more local textile factories to create market for their cash crop and local jobs. I was speaking at a forum hosted by the Agriculture and Food Authority. The farmers called on the government to enhance support for homegrown industries, highlighting the success of GMO cotton in boosting production and incomes. Now, Agriculture and Food Authority Chairperson Cornelis Rem is challenging Kenyans to embrace locally made fabrics to strengthen the cotton value chain, generate employment, and reduce reliance on foreign textiles.
Kuna mashini ziko pale Mpeketoni ya kujini pamba. Vijana wengi wako hapo wanafanya hiyo kazi. Lakini kile hatujapata hapa ni kama hii ya kufanya viatu, hiyo hatuna. Hii ni ile tuko nayo ni mbili tu, ya kujini pamba na ya kujini mafuta ya kutoka begu ya pamba. Kwa hivyo itapatia vijana wetu, watoto wetu ajira hapa Mpeketoni. Ningeomba kama shirika zingine itusaidie kupata hata hiyo ya viatu tuweze kuweka hapa, sababu sisi mkulima wetu ni wapamba, ndio vitu yetu inabaki wapi? Hapa tuweze kusaidiana kama sisi.
Now, in our special feature, the cabinet, we focus on Henry Kosgei. Take a look.
Henry Kiprono Kosgei entered politics in 1979 after resigning from Kenya Breweries Limited. At only 32 years old, he was elected Member of Parliament for Tinderet, beginning a political career that would span nearly 3 decades. Kosgei quickly became one of President Daniel Arap Moi's trusted allies. He served in several cabinet positions under the KANU government between 1979 and 2002, including transport and communications, culture and social services, education and cooperative development. He would later say he was a good student of Moi and that without the former president, he would not have ventured into active politics. Although Kosgei came from the Nandi community and Moi from the Tugen, he remained a close and trusted associate of the president for many years. His reputation was built around loyalty and survival. Like Mwai Kibaki, Kosgei was calm in public but politically firm. He was not known as a loud politician, but his influence was widely felt, especially in Rift Valley politics. Kosgei was among a small group of politicians who served as cabinet ministers in both the Moi and Kibaki administrations. After KANU lost power in 2002, Kosgei began repositioning himself. Although Moi backed President Kibaki, Kosgei eventually left KANU and aligned himself with the emerging Orange movement. The 2005 constitutional referendum gave him a political lifeline. He joined the Orange camp that opposed the draft constitution prepared under the Kibaki government. The Orange camp included Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi and Najib Balala. After the Orange side won the referendum, the movement evolved into ODM Kenya, with Kosgei serving as interim chairman. When ODM Kenya split ahead of the 2007 elections, Kosgei sided with Raila Odinga and was elected again as Tinderet Member of Parliament on an ODM ticket. Following the disputed 2007 general election and the post-election violence that followed, Kosgei was among opposition leaders who supported efforts to heal the country. In March 2008, he helped mobilize ODM MPs to endorse the handshake between President Kibaki and Raila Odinga, paving the way for the Grand Coalition government. In April 2008, Kosgei was appointed Minister for Industrialization in the expanded cabinet. As minister, he oversaw the implementation of key industrial policy, including elements of Vision 2030, promotion of quality products, support for domestic and foreign investment, and supervision of several parastatals under the ministry. He also played a role in the establishment of anti-counterfeiting agency and promoted industrial development through partnerships such as the memorandum between Kenya Industrial Estates and India's National Small Industries Corporation. His tenure, however, was not without controversy. In 2009, he was summoned by the Parliamentary Committee on Implementation over concerns about his ministry's performance. He was also questioned over the irregular sale of subsidized maize, a scandal that implicated several political figures. In January 2011, Kosgei resigned as Industrialization Minister after accusation that he facilitated the importation of vehicles older than the 8-year legal limit. He denied any wrongdoing, saying his actions were above reproach. The accusations later collapsed and he was reinstated to cabinet in August 2012. Kosgei also faced one of the lowest moments of his career when he appeared before the International Criminal Court at The Hague over allegations relating to the 2007-2008 post-election violence. He was accused of being among planners of violence, but the charges were later dropped. Throughout his career, Kosgei faced many allegations, including claims of corruption and abuse of office. But he was never convicted. His political survival was also evident in party politics. After decades as a KANU loyalist and vice chairman, he later dismissed the party as an empty shell when it lost political relevance. He also fought for influence within KANU after Moi's retirement, at one time clashing with Nicholas Biwott over the political direction of the Kalenjin community. Within ODM, Kosgei played a major role in building the party into a national movement and ensuring broad regional representation in its leadership. However, his electoral fortunes later declined. He failed to win the Nandi Senate seat in 2013 and later lost the Nandi gubernatorial race in 2017. Since 2017, Henry Kosgei has largely stepped back from frontline elective.
And now, nurses in Kakamega County are said to benefit from managerial skills and leadership training to improve service delivery in the health sector. Now, the training program is aimed at equipping nurses with administrative, communication and decision-making skills to enhance efficiency in healthcare management across health facilities in the county. Health officials also said the initiative will enhance patient care, improve coordination in hospitals, and also promote professionalism among nurses.
I want to urge our government to train these nurses in these senior managerial courses, because you find they handle finances, they handle human resource and other workers.
Thank you so much to the governance, because they've been able to realize that nurses can make very good managers, they provide very good leadership, and they are able to handle all the cases, the emergencies that come up in the whole sub-county and even the entire country.
And now let's get sporty. Now, sports seers Salim Mvurya is hopeful that the 2027 AFCON co-host Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania will put up a successful tournament owing to the 2024 CHAN experiences. Now, speaking during the Africa Forward Summit that brought together CAF President Patrice Motsepe, Uganda and Tanzania Football Federation presidents, the sports seers said the three co-hosts are working hand in hand to improve the sport infrastructure ahead of the tournament set for June 19th, July to 17th, 2027. Kenya is putting up a new sport facility, Talanta Stadium, which is nearing completion, while the refurbishment of the Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, is ongoing. CAF President Motsepe threw his weight behind the three co-host nations, emphasizing the economic advantages that come with the tournament.
Because of the confidence you have brought to East Africa. East Africa initially did not have a good profile in football, and you worked tirelessly with the three governments to host the Pamoja CHAN, which really gave us also the inspiration to move into AFCON with a lot of experience, but a lot of areas that we learned. 3 weeks ago, we were hosted in Uganda by our colleague, and we are running through some of the key areas that we need to work together. And therefore, your visit this morning, running through the days of the summit, are also very occasional, because we will have a chance to discuss key issues, and we also have a chance to learn connection with the AFCON. So. And Morocco, the benefits that Morocco derived from AFCON, according to Nielsen, $2 billion. So I don't mind if 1 point, just 600 for you, 600, but I mean, it's going to be more.
Mathare United have parted ways with head coach John Kamau, just 3 matches remaining in the 2025-2026 FKF Premier League season. Now, the Axe fell following Sunday's 2-0 defeat to APS Bomet, a relegation-threatened side, a result that the club's hierarchy deemed the final proof that a change was necessary. Now, season coach Mohamed Mchula will take over as interim head coach for the remainder of the 2025-2026 season. Mchula, who has been part of the technical bench since both he and Kamau were brought in ahead of the current campaign, now faces the task of steadying the ship across final 3 fixtures. Mathare United is placed 14th on the log with 35 points of safety. The 2008 champions will face Mara Sugar, Ulinzi Stars and Bandari FC in its final league matches.
Uangalizi wa kimatibabu. Maswali yanampita akilini kwa mkororo usezo katika mwalimu John Kamau Irungu amepiga makunyanzi usoni akijiuliza maswali ni vipi tunalema.
Now, the 5th edition of grassroots soccer tournament Safaricom Chapa Dimba kicked off in Kisumu with football teams bracing for the grueling battle ahead. This year's tournament, according to the organizers, has introduced key pathways for the talents identified. After the conclusion of the tournament, an all-star team comprising 32 outstanding players scouted for the tournament will represent Kenya at the prestigious Gothia Cup in Sweden. The second pathway focuses on education with 150 outstanding players set to benefit from tertiary scholarships. This year's tournament has also reduced the age category of players to from 15 to 18 years from the previous 16 to 20 years. The tournament will take place across 8 regions nationwide, structured in 5 stages: ward level, county level, inter-county level, regional level and national level finals. Now, national winners in both categories will each receive 1 million shillings. And that's where we end our lunchtime news on KBC Channel 1 from the broadcasting house in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. My name is Giverson, Maina, and our sign language interpreter is Caroline Joroge. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Na hii ndoto yako ya kuenda kusomea ng'ambo ni kama sasa utaiachana nayo kabisa.
Wewe wacha Pastor Joel ashughulike nayo mpango.
Nilijua tu siku hizi isha kama huyu mtu hajakuja hapa.
Sasa mbona unaenda kinyume na yale tulikuwa tumekubaliana?
Umekuja nikuombee na pia niombee ndoa yako.
Ni kama huu mpango tutaahirisha kwa sasa.
Monica, ulikuwa umeenda kufanya nini kwa Ufwambe? Hakuna mtu atasimama kati yangu na kile kiti.
Siku nzuri. Hizi pesa zote lazima tuzijumuishe pamoja tu.
Sasa tutafanyaje juu naona ndo yangu ni kama eti.
Wakati wa vijana ni leo.
Kwenda huko. Mambo yako kisha.
Actions zako hazionyesha support kwa Andrew at any particular point.
Huyo mpumbavu Justin ni nani?
Yule kijana yuko sawa, amejipanga. Natamani sana kuona sura ya Andrew.
Wewe ni nani?
Hapa nitakula vizuri sana.
Si, wizi.
Wananitagundu.
Wewe ukazichukua ukenda ukazibadilisha namba na ukaanza kuziuza.
Ndio liibiwa?
Mimi bado ibiwa nduthi.
Kijana yako alikwambia liibiwa na nani?
Ngo yele sikuwa na pen. Na hii pen. Pen. Apiko.
Ndio tukapata wewe anatengeneza number plate, anabadilisha,
anausa.
Tembea polepole na mwendo wa haste ukienda nyumbani.
How can pikipiki swim like a fish?
Ilienda kwa mtu ikaenda ikiduguruma tu.
Mzee,
bindio nilisema mvua inyeshe wakati ile uko kwa barabara.
Si wewe ulisema kwani wewe ni nyesayo, ubenyesao wala mbuli.
Hata sio ngono kuja kuchukua, sio tabu hivyo. Na shapasi. Ukimaliza nitapitia hapa ngienda stendi nitakuregeshea.
Sitakuchoma.
Hapa ni mkono wapata moto makerekani. Haya pasi hiyo, lakini hala pasi yenyewe si yangu. Utumie ukimaliza tu niregeshe.
Nitoke kule ninatoka mwenyewe na haraka zangu ninakuja kuchukua changu. Leo waje kuniambia changu hakiko changu ninakukabidhi wewe. Leo kiko nyumba ya pili. Wewe ulipata mahari ya kumuoa Maina ukashindwa kununua pasi.
Na imevunjika mkono ukimwomba msamahani, huo mkono utawe kwa binadamu.
Sasa si pasi mpya itanunuliwa. Wewe wajua pasi hakuna.
Celebrate your creativity, your talent, and all the fun things you love to do.
My name is Jordan Mwangi. I'm an ex-world scholar. My hobbies are playing basketball, playing football, and reading books.
And today's book is The Best Thing Ever.
Chinky chimpanzees chew chunky chocolate chips.
I'm Chef Zawadi, and today I'm going to show you how to make potato salad.
Vous présente un poème intitulé Le respect de la planète.
Kila mwisho wa juma kwenye runinga yako ya KBC Channel 1.
Tunakuletea Mkulima.
Ni kipindi cha kila mtu.
Iwe wewe ni mkulima mdogo, mkulima mkubwa, muuzaji au mnunuzi,
au yeyote anayenuia kuanzisha kilimo ama ufugaji. Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30,
ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah, nakumind. Na ukinipenda ndakuchunga kama sai. Why lie my baby you fine. Why lie my baby you fine. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, nakumind. Na ukinipenda ndakuchunga kama sai. Why lie my baby you fine. Why lie my baby you fine. Wagwan my guys, it's your boy Sean MMG. Skiza mage na tuko hapa Grapevine manze. Good vibes ukitucheki hapa hivi, na usisahau keep on streaming Skiza mage EP on all the